It's time for everyone's favorite game show. Does Mari have to urinate?
It sounds so much grosser when you say urinate. Now
I
it's
know.
clinical.
I was gonna say, isn't there a medical term like micturate or something like that?
Really? Is that a thing?
Micturate.
I
Yeah.
once had a pee so bad I had to urinate.
Oh my god. Can we just start this?
Get out of here. Just get out of Discord. Just leave the call.
Leave the internet.
You don't have to.
All right,
How's that work?
everyone's favorite game show. Does Mari have to pee? Jovenshire, what's your bet? Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with leaves at the 20-minute marker. Is this like this is Price is
I like
Right
this.
rules, right?
Oh, I see what we're
like
saying.
this,
So
I
if
like
she
this.
goes, I see. Okay. And Lasercorn, what do you think?
Just say 25 minutes.
You son of a bitch.
I think she's gonna hold it the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
None
what I
of you
think.
can see the size of the water bottle that I'm drinking out of.
Slash peeing into.
Is this the first episode in October? Is this the first October episode?
Oh, shit.
This is the first October episode.
Oh, happy
Spooky season.
October!
Hello,
didn't send any
everyone, and
spooky
welcome.
prompts.
Oh, I have a couple spookies. But
I saved
hello.
all my good ones for the later
You
half
keep
of the month.
You know what, guys? This is the first time I'm hosting where my
okay.
microphone is supposedly working properly.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's
Take
working
it away,
properly.
buddy. It's all you.
Thank you, and hello, and welcome to a special episode of the OGSoG podcast, where today is the first episode in October.
Which is why it's special.
Yeah. I like that we're carrying a
Very special
laser cords
episode.
trend, yeah.
Every episode is a very special episode.
It's always a special episode because we're always hanging out together and we're all separately in our panic rooms. And, and it's just nice to be able to connect a human to human across panic room to panic room while we wait for the inevitable demise of every human on Earth to OGSoG.
Prism.
Yes, praise.
Do you think producer Paco praises him every time we say praise him?
No,
don't
because he
know.
is OGSoG, probably.
That's true. That's the lore. Is Paco is OGSoG in human form?
It's not official canon lore. It's just a theory. SOG
Yay!
theory.
Yeah, we need Matt Pat to make
you're about
some
to get
theory stuff about OGSoG. We should hire him.
Awesome. That'd be great.
We should hire Matt Pat to do an OGSoG theory episode.
I love that. He'd be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what,
Do
what
any of
am
you
I
guys
doing?
have a spare $40,000?
No, I don't.
Nope.
All right. Well, we got a wide range of topics today, but before we get into that, we're gonna do some housekeeping stuff, and the housekeeping stuff is that hey, you're listening to this on Spotify, or you're watching it on YouTube, or you're listening to it on Patreon, because hey, guess what? Those are the three ways that you can consume our content. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you're just watching a tiny little snippet, just a tiny little bite-sized cut down of what we normally do. And if you want to listen to the whole thing, you can listen on Spotify. And if you want to watch the whole video version, you can check that out over on Patreon. Patreon, just search for OGSoG. You'll find it. We're the only one, I think. Unless there's some kind of weird butt thing like happened on YouTube when we were first starting the channel, where you just search OGSoG and it's just like a bunch of butts.
That
Yeah, I
too is
deleted
us.
that account. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
OGSoG, our demon lord OGSoG loves juicy heinies. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
It's just
Lore's updated.
Juicy honeys.
I always say
weird.
update the wiki, and I wonder if anyone's actually doing that.
no one says heiny anymore. No one even said heiny when we were growing up.
Bring back Heine.
Let's go ahead. Let's pivot here a little bit. We're gonna switch on over to another topic. Which movie or video game creeped you out the most? You're heading into the depths of October. You know, get a little spooky here. So, which movie or video game creeped you out the most?
I
Like
think
as a kid or like as an adult or in general?
I think in general, like lasting effect. You know, messed you up a little bit. Which one was it?
So I used to watch a ton of slasher films when I was a kid. Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, the whole gamut. Did not get affected by any of it, but it was The Shining that messed me up, man.
Interesting.
And it's because it was all psychological and things that I didn't understand. But
Like the blowjob scene?
yes,
There's a blowjob scene?
it's the furries.
didn't know
right?
that?
It's the furries.
Yeah, it's like
they're
the- yeah,
two men, and
It's like
and
a
I haven't
pig
seen it in
mask
so long.
and
in like a dog mask, and they're doing something sexual, but my kid brain couldn't understand why it made me feel uncomfortable. I was just like,
Why were you watching The Shining as a child?
I was watching all kinds of horror movies.
Why? Who was showing this to you?
My neighbor and I, we started a little horror club, and we loved horror movies. We would go to the local like Blockbuster and Sneak Preview Video, which is the other place, and we would just get horror movies, and his mom would just let us.
Super
watch
dope.
Wait,
horror movies.
the mom would have to rent them. Yeah, you were not old. How old were you when this was happening?
Like 4th grade to 6th grade.
Oh,
So
yeah,
like
they wouldn't
10.
have rented you that movie. So
Yeah,
someone's
no.
mom
No.
was involved in this? That's
Oh
bad
yeah,
parenting.
Vicky.
Wow.
Yeah, Vicky
Yeah.
was all about it.
Vicky, if you're watching this, that was very bad parenting. We know what you did.
You know what's hilarious? Maybe it's a Vicky thing, because any inappropriate movie I saw when I was younger was my Aunt Vicky would just like let me watch stuff.
Vickies are fun, man.
Yeah.
This is odd. I always thought Vicky was a very hot name. So, neighbor's mom and your Aunt Vicky. I'm just assuming they were hot.
You would.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's an interesting association.
It
How do you
was
feel
also-
about?
The
Isn't there a
Shining
character
for Mari.
named Vicky in Fairly Odd Parents?
I feel like she'd be hot if she was humanified.
I don't think I've ever known another Vicky other than my neighbor's mom's Vicky.
I had a friend named Vicky in college. I remember.
Was she hot?
She was cute.
See?
Yeah.
All right.
So horror movies have messed me up.
Horror or video
obviously-
game movie.
Or video games. I will kind of go through the gamut here of like the different phases. Killer Clowns, obviously talked about that before. Absolutely terrified me. I would hear the opening theme song. I'd run behind my pajama drawer and wait there for 90 minutes till the movie
Wait,
was
why
done.
do you still like it today then? Is
I don't-
It like
it
is
has-
it a way of like
it's- it-
soothing the trauma?
It's my Batman. Like, why did Batman become Batman? He utilized the fear to become stronger. I don't know. It literally became a part of my personality.
But that would be
Use killer
kind of like
clowns.
if Batman like continuously watched footage of his parents getting shot or something.
But doesn't he?
I don't know.
When he closes
Jobin would
his
be
eyes.
Killer Clown Man? That's funny.
Yep. Or just, Florida serial killer. As I remember the last movie that scared me, that like made me feel like a kid scared to be in the dark, was Sixth Sense.
I
But
hated Sixth Sense too.
the-
I couldn't go to the bathroom at night with my door open.
Couldn't even hide under the blanket, man.
There's no hiding spot. There's this really funny story. We went to, and I think Paco was there too. Producer Paco was there. We did like a midnight screening of Paranormal Activity, and this was before it had its wide release, where maybe you can go to like one or screening here or there. And so we did a midnight screening of it. So I got home about 2:00 in the morning. I was living with my grandma at the time, who had 2 dogs. So I get into my room. I'm lying there in the dark, and I'm like, oh, I remember this part of the movie. This is where things get really fucked up. And then as I had that thought, the larger dog had like barreled through the door to come say hi and opened the door.
no.
So I screamed. I was like, ah! Because I just saw this scary movie about like, doors opening and closing, and there goes my door flying open.
It just turned into an episode of Beethoven instead.
First off, Beethoven, we can talk about this in another episode. Beethoven is not what you think that movie is about.
What?
The plot of Beethoven is about this scientist kidnapping dogs to test bullets on them.
What?
And they have this
What?
new
No.
bullet.
I never
Yes.
saw this movie.
This
No,
is what
it's
Beethoven.
not.
This is what Beethoven is about.
I'm
They are
Googling this
trying
right now.
to kidnap the Beethoven dog because it has the largest skull, and they want to test this new bullet out on the largest skull possible.
But
I thought
What?
I was just trying to escape getting
Beethoven is a
going to
family
the
comedy
pound.
film.
No,
What? That's
it's
really
a
dark.
fucked up
yeah,
movie.
that is incredibly
Plot:
fucked
a group
up.
of puppies are stolen. I'm confirming.
You fact
Hold
check
on.
me, find it and then to talk about a video game that I'm embarrassed that I never beat because I got tired of the anxiety that it caused was Dead Space. I never beat Dead Space. It was too scary. It was too scary. I didn't like how I felt. I stopped playing.
Oh, the video games for me was Resident Evil.
Rightfully so.
And Max
He actually
Payne.
requires large-skulled
after the-
dogs such as Saint Bernards for an ammunition test. Are you kidding me?
Jesus Christ.
Told you.
I hate that you're
Wow.
I'm gonna turn this into a TikTok because people need to know this.
Yeah, no, this is a weird fact.
That's messed up.
Huh. crazy.
Was
That's
it a government
really messed
thing?
up.
Was it
Nope.
an army thing? Who
Nope.
was the
Just,
ammunitions manufacturer?
Just he had a deal with a shady vet. Or
Yeah, and
pound
the
owner,
vet puts fake blood on his. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he fakes a dog bite.
Oh God! Oh,
So
I
the dog
remember
would have to get
that
put down.
part. I really thought in my head that it was just the pound.
Because the trailer does not tell you that story.
I never saw that movie, but that would not be what I guessed the plot is about. Yeah. Thought it
Yeah,
would be
so when I
like-
had a St. Bernard, people were like, oh man, it must be like the movie Beethoven all the time. And I'm like, no, it's not.
no one's trying to shoot this dog. Why would you say that?
Yeah, at the end, some people get arrested for animal abuse. Wow. This is a dark movie.
It's really dark. I thought it was just about funny little.
Yeah,
dogs.
like a wacky, like adjusting to having a large wacky dog in the family. That's what I thought it was too.
Yeah.
It's like someone was walking down the halls of like MGM with their fun, family-friendly script and like accidentally ran into someone that had their own script about a psychological thriller and the pages got mixed up. Yeah, they made that movie.
I love that.
You got
That's
chocolate
a
on my
really-
peanut butter.
Wow,
That's
thank you for that fun
that's a funny
Beethoven fact.
premise.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. You're welcome.
Okay,
Sorry, I feel like I cut you off, Elkhorn.
Are you? Well, no. Are
You cut
are you
me
done?
off, actually.
I didn't even know we got out. That's great.
I
You
cut
cut
off
me
someone.
off saying I couldn't play Max Payne past the dream sequence,
Oh.
the baby crying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that is a dark. I wouldn't call it a scary game, but it is a very dark game for sure.
It was that moment where I'm like, nope, I don't want to play this anymore.
Wow. Joven said one that was on my list, The Sixth Sense, especially because I just got completely blindsided by that movie. Hadn't heard of it, hadn't seen a trailer. My dad took me to the movie, and it was extremely traumatizing. But before that, the most traumatizing movie for me is I think I was 8 or 9 years old. My brother was having a birthday that happened to fall on Friday the 13th, so him and his friends were watching a bunch of scary movies. They were watching Alfred Hitchcock's Birds, for whatever reason, I went in the room to go watch with them. I forget what I was doing before this, but they all left the room, and it was right at the start of A House on Haunted Hill. So I watched this movie by myself as an 8-year-old, and
The
that
66 movie?
yeah, the original, the old one,
Yeah,
the
the
black
original
and white. Yeah, and that movie scared the crap out of me. There's people
So
that
his brother is 87 years old.
there's an acid pit thing where there's like a skeleton, a closet, and I don't know. I don't even remember. I would just have these nightmares about the images from that movie.
That movie is based off of, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm close to this one. It's either the very first, horror book or the scariest book of all time. One of the two. I don't know. I think it has something to do with, the start of, horror books. And and then that movie then had spawned, I think, 2 different reboots, one of which being The Haunting, starring Liam Neeson.
And
then-
Owen Wilson, who
and
gets
Owen
his
Wilson.
head knocked clean off in a fireplace.
Definitely not a great movie. And then one of my favorite things to watch every single October, the Haunting on the Hill House on Netflix.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
Oh, so
Coley.
dude. So Inky, I know that you've been watching a lot of horror movies lately. You got to watch that show, and you have to do Midnight Mass. Those 2 shows. Barrel
Are you a
through 'em.
big Rahul fan? What's happening here?
So what's funny is I was a big Raoul fan from iZombie.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but the showrunner who started with Gerald's Game as a Netflix
Flanagan.
movie, Mike Flanagan, he did that show after Gerald's Game. Great movie if you get the chance. And then the follow up, which was Haunting of Bly Manor, which was good. Not as great as the first one, and then Midnight Mass was fantastic, and then a 4th series coming out this October. Sorry, I'm a fan. I can do it all day. Which
All
Raoul
good.
is in.
And then the game that I would have nightmares about after playing, and I still to this day have never beaten it, not because I couldn't keep playing it, but because I just would fail all the time. I would it was a hard game. It was System Shock 2. Game was terrifying. Just
What was the girl's
Shodan.
name? Shodan.
Yeah, Shodan.
Spiritual
Look at
successor
you, hacker.
to BioShock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
and,
not successor,
yeah,
predecessor.
Predecessor.
Yeah, spiritual predecessor. Yeah, BioShock kind of had the same exact vibe, I would say, as System Shock did. The System Shock was in space, and but yeah, there's something so creepy just about the voice and all of it. there were images from the game that stuck with me because you would walk around and you would see these ghosts, and like, they would just be around the ship. Sometimes you'd like see how they died and stuff, and yeah, it's an incredibly scary game, System Shock, and also another game that has a very similar vibe, although like kind of taken to the nth degree is it was Dead Space. I thought had a similar vibe as System Shock. So.
It's funny because when Joven said Dead Space earlier, he said it a little funny, and I thought he said Ted Space, and now I'm going to make a bunch of AI-generated images of Ted Lasso in the suit fighting necromorphs. So get ready for that.
Ted Space.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah.
And Lasercorn, we could expect an answer from you, but I assume you're the one that scares horror movies.
Yes.
Not the other way around.
Exactly.
He jumps out of the closet while
I am what
movie's
Freddy
playing,
Krueger
goes,
has
"Ah!"
nightmares about. No, but more realistically, what scared me, my dad went and rented Resident Evil when I was like, I don't know, however old I was when I came out, and I was too young for that. I enjoyed playing it. I was having fun. When we were all playing it as a family, I'm like, oh yeah, creepy zombies. And then alone in my bed, I was like, oh no. Now it's in my
you gotta
brain.
love family-friendly time where we all sat around the TV and played Resident Evil.
It was fun. No, playing video games with my dad was great.
2002?
Is that what it came out?
No.
It was
The
the
original-
very first one?
You're talking about the movie, so Winky. I think he's talking about the game.
Oh, you're talking about the game. Oh, okay.
No, the movie wasn't scary. 1996. So I was, I don't know.
4 years old.
Oh, 1996, yeah.
54. Shut up, Marky. We're the same age. Stop making me old. I was younger, however old I was, and then I just remember I shut my eyes and I kept seeing the first time you see a zombie where it turns around. It's like eating the guy and it turns around and
your brain fills in the graphics.
Yeah.
It might be. Yeah, it makes it more real in your head.
For me, it was it was like when you're getting eaten by anything.
Oh, yeah,
and
that was-
then the rumble controller like really messed me up.
Those fucking birds
so
popping out.
visceral. And the dogs.
I don't remember. Did the controller rumble back then?
For
Yeah,
me,
I think so.
For me, that was like the
remember
visceral
that.
memory.
It was
maybe-
PlayStation,
too.
right?
Yeah, it always had rumble.
Yeah, I think the DualShock's
No, it didn't always have rumble, but it was pretty early on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I played Resident Evil when it first came out, but I know that when I played it, it was with the rumble.
The director's
controller, and,
cut had rumble.
Yeah, that was too visceral for me.
Yeah. And then movies, I watched Pet Sematary too young, and that scared me. I don't think it would still scare me if I went back and watched it now, but I was scared when I
Yeah, I've
Movies
never
we
seen
watched
that.
Too young. That's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Alright.
like that's the correlation for things that scared me. It's like,
True.
I would have been fine if I had seen this at an age-appropriate time, but too young. But yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that has been the OGSoG podcast for today, our first Ogtober episode. So thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you happen to be watching the segment on YouTube, there is a full video version of the entire podcast on Patreon, or you can listen to the entire thing for free on Spotify. Anyone else want to add anything?
Yeah.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw.
That's what
Don't
we're
watch
adding.
Beethoven.
Also,
Yeah.
countdown to the 17.
The
Oh, hey,
17th.
thanks.
Oh yeah,
Something's happening on
Lasercorn's
the
big
17th.
reveal of the thing that he's working on, and will be and do more stuff like it for the
But
next
it's
10
totally
years.
not meth. Nothing to do with meth.
Not meth.
No
we should
meth.
Stop mentioning
It's
meth. It's definitely not
promise
meth.
Yeah,
It's
we should
not
just stop
Totally not
saying
meth.
the word meth and
Yeah.
Lasercorn in connection.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave a comment and all those things down below, and make sure to subscribe. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can. Patreon.com/OGSoG, and there you'll see the full video episodes. This that you saw right here is just a short segment of it. And if you want to just listen to us, you can listen to the full thing on Spotify. Hope to see you there. Goodbye!